we are going to learn about what is automation testing and why it is essential automation testing in the testing tool. So those things we will discuss. Okay. So first of all, before going to that, we'll try to understand one thing that what exactly the software testing is. Okay. So that basic software testing is so it is checking the overall functionality of an application, whether it is working according to the customer requirements or not. And then to deliver the quality product to the customer, we will do some kind of an activity on the applications. Okay. So that is what exactly we call it as a software testing. Inside the software testing we have two kinds of a testing. Like one is manual testing, and second one is automation testing. So the very first one is manual testing. So if we are checking, if we are doing the testing manually, logging into the application and verifying through our eyes and clicking the button and checking the validations, whatever the testings are there, that I will discuss. So all those testings, if we are doing manually, that we call it as a manual testing. Okay. So if the same thing, if we are doing by making use of some kind of a tools, so many tools are available in the market. So if you if we do all those testings by using some tools, so then we call it as an automation testing. Okay. So I'll come to this part later. So actually, why automation testing is required. So we are doing manual testing, right? So we know that how to test the application, what to test, and how to report the issues, and how to compare the requirement with the application and all. So we are doing it manually, right? Why automation is required? Why it is necessary? Why it is required to do automation testing in the field of testing. So that I'll come to I'll explain you in some time. So before going to that, inside this manual testing we have two kinds of testing, right? Basically, one is functional testing, and second one is non-functional testing. Okay. So in functional testing, what we are doing is we are checking the functionality or behavior of an application, right? So we will be validating the behavior of the application as per the customer requirement, right? So what we are doing in the functional testing is we will be checking we will be validating the behavior of the application, whether it is working according to the customer requirement or not. So that is what we used to do in functional testing. Inside the functional testing, we do have many testing, smoke testing, regression testing, retesting, rug testing, exploratory testing, regression testing. Like that, many kinds of testings are there. So inside this non-functional testing, we do have many testing, performance testing and load testing and security testing. Like that, many things are there. So our concentration is all about the functional testing. So we will come to this particular thing. Okay. So now this
Okay.
we will leave for this non-functional testing for now. So inside this functional testing, what we do is we have many testing, right? So we have smoke testing, and second one is smoke or sanity testing. We call it as sanity also. So then comes functional testing.
Integration testing.
Yeah, exactly. Integration testing we have.
Unit testing and
So then
regression testing.
comes retesting. So then comes regression testing. So then like that we have like multiple like that we have a few other testing also, like exploratory testing, ad hoc testing, many other testings are there. So like why we are already doing it manually, all these kind of a testing, and then like we are working as a manual tester, and everything works fine, and then why we need to switch it to automation testing basically. That is the thing. So why we have to switch it to automation testing is like, so we have to understand these two things very clearly: retesting and regression testing. Okay, so these two things I'm like trying to explain now. So whereas in the case of retesting, what happens is like, what exactly the retesting is. So testing, like executing the same test cases again and again is called retesting, right?
Yeah.
Same test case again and again is called as retesting. So for example, what happens is like, so I will try to explain it in a better way. Say for example, we have one feature, okay? So one feature, like how exactly in the software testing world happens is like, as soon as developer pushed the code into the QA environment. Say for example, this is QA environment, okay? So basically, they will push their code to one particular site. So there, where we can perform all our testing. Okay. So directly, the moment when we write the code, we will not push that code to the live site where customers are using. Okay. So first, we will push that code into the local site. So then we will validate all those test case. I mean, whatever the test cases we have written, we will execute all our test cases in the QA environment and local environment wherever. Once it is everything is fine, everything is closed, then only we were moving it to the production site. Okay, so production site in the sense where exactly the customers are using the site. So this is let us assume production site. So any code, whatever the code developer is implemented, whatever the feature developer has implemented, directly without testing and without closing, without verifying that feature, we are not going to deploy that feature to the production site. Production site in the sense, the production site we also call it as a live site. Okay, so where customers are using that site. So instead of pushing our code to the production site, first we will push our code to the local environment. We call that as QA environment. So here we will execute all our test cases, and we will find the issues, and we will report it to the developer, and they will fix the issues, and we will verify those issues. Once everything is done, so then only we are deploying it to production site. So before deploying it to the production site, we will deploy the code to one more site called staging site. Okay, so staging site is nothing but this is also called as UAT site, user acceptance testing. So what customer wants is the moment when you close our task in the QA environment, directly if you push our code to the production site, customer will get surprised, right? So why this feature is came, and like that they will see the new features in their site. So they don't want to see like that. So first they want to try the feature, right, how it is working and whether it is acceptable or not. First they will see that I mean feature in the UAT site. So this is UAT site. Okay, let us assume this is UAT site, UAT or staging. Okay, UAT or staging site. So we will deploy the same code, whatever is available in the QA environment. We will deploy this to the staging site. Okay. So inside the staging site also, the same test case, whatever we verified in QA environment, same thing we have to verify, and we have to make sure that everything is working fine in UAT site also. So then we will inform the customer to use this UAT site. So then they will verify from their end how this feature is. It's a kind of demo for them. So they will use the feature for for few days. If they have any concerns, they will get back to the technical team, and they will get it corrected. So if there is if they are okay with the feature, they will accept this feature. Oh, okay, this is fine, let us push this code to the production. So then from QA environment to staging environment we pushed. From staging environment customer has verified the feature and they accepted the feature. We also verified in staging UAT. Then we are pushing the code to the production side. So as a QA in production side also we have to verify our feature. Okay, so in all the sites, we have to verify the same feature uh, in many places. Okay, so this is also one of the kind of retesting. Whatever we tested in this particular place, right? So we have to test in this place also. We have to test in this place also. Every test cases must be executed in all the sites. So then we have to make sure that our product is fine. It is working fine according to the customer requirements, whatever they have given. So our feature is working fine. Then we will inform the customer. So it is applied to production like that. So here one thing you have to notice is like the same test cases we are executing here also, here also. How much time it took to execute the test cases in QA environment, excluding the bug fixes and all. The same time it will be consuming in this site also, same time will be consuming in this site also. So it is kind of a time consuming and it requires effort and it requires resource as well, right? So this is one kind of a retesting. So another kind of a retesting is what happens is like, say for example, this is when it comes to the bug fixing it happens. Okay, so this is they have pushed the code to the QA environment. Okay, so let us assume this is QA environment. Okay. So developer what they did and they they did implemented the feature and then they deployed the code to the QA environment. So then what we have to do, we will we will be verifying the feature, each and everything, and we will execute the test cases, whatever the test cases we have written, and we will execute all the test cases. So we will find the issues, right? Definitely software in the sense as a tester we have to break the system. So then we have to report the issues. So what we will do is like we will report the issues to the developer. So what we will do is like we will report the issues to the developer. What developer will do is like a developer will go through the code and they will they will be having the source file, right? So here they will be having the source file and whatever the issues we have posted, so they will go through the issues and they will go through review the code and they will fix the issue what exactly the issue is there in the system like that. So once after fixing, so they will move those changes again to the QA environment. Okay. So again, what we have to do, again we have to verify the things, whether that feature whatever the fix they made, it is working fine or not. Again and again and again, whatever the fix, whatever the issue we posted, we have to verify that again and we have to make sure that the fix is fine, like that. So it happens the moment when you post the issues, the moment when they fix the issues and apply the changes to the QA environment, we have to verify this. So it is also kind of a retesting, right? So this is consuming a lot of time. Okay, so here also we have to do retesting, here also we have to do some kind of retesting. It is consuming lot of time and effort. So in order to avoid this kind of time, so the very first thing is what is like. So I'll come back to this thing later. So so it is consuming a lot of time and efforts, right? So in order to reduce the time and efforts, so we will go for automation testing. Okay, so I'll explain why automation and what we'll do in automation also. Okay? So before going to do that, I will just try to understand. We have one more testing called regression testing, right? So what exactly the regression testing? Regression testing is nothing but uh, verifying the old feature functionality uh, because of introducing the new feature. Because of we introduce the new feature, it should not cause any issues to the existing feature, right? Say for example, I'll explain this also. So what happens is like here let us assume this is one feature is available in this particular This is one feature is available. So like we verified this feature and everything is working fine. Bug fixing is also done. Everything is good. Okay. So tomorrow what happens? Customer came up with new requirement and they want one more feature to be added in the same product. Okay. So in that case, developer will add one more feature to that particular page. Okay. So here we have to verify the new feature also. This feature we have to verify. Because of that new feature, there should there should not be any impact on the old feature. So we have to verify the old feature as well. Along with that, if we have posted any issues in the old feature also, that also we have to verify. So it is kind of making sure that the old feature functionality is working fine or not, because of introducing the new feature or new changes into the system. So here also we have to verify. Say for example tomorrow one more feature is added also, we have to verify again the old features. So this is what we do in regression testing. Okay. So every time or every release, what the release happens, what the new release means basically the new features are going to the production side. So whenever we do release or we add a new feature to the system, so we have to verify the old features also. What feature functionality should not get affected because of the new feature. So how many times we add the new feature, those many times we have to verify the old feature. There is no question of compromising over here, because of adding the new feature, if it is causing the old feature, if it is causing the issues to the old feature, so then definitely customer will get frustrated, right? So that is the reason we have to do regression testing. This is what we call it as regression testing. So this is also kind of time consuming, right? So we have to test the new feature as well. Along with that, we have to make sure that the old feature functionality. So this is what the testing happens. So we will be verifying the old feature functionality along with the new feature functionality. The overall thing is everything should work fine. So the verifying the old feature is common thing, right? So it is a kind of iteration thing. So the moment when we develop this first feature, if we automate that test cases and if we have written it in somewhere else, so we no need to do manual testing over here, right? So if we execute that file, it will automatically verify and it will get the results. So in that case, what we have to do, we just have to verify only the new features. So verifying the old feature functionality, whatever we automated, it will take care of, right? So that is the reason, the basic thing is why we are going to automation testing, why we need automation testing. Okay, the very first thing is in order to reduce the time. Okay, so second thing is in order to reduce the efforts. Okay, so because of time consumption and efforts and resource, because of these reasons, we are going to switching it into the automation testing. So how automation tool works is like that, I'll tell you. So there are so many tools available in the market, so we will come back to those tools after some time. So now we will just try to understand what exactly automation will do. Say for example, there are multiple tools available in the market. So say for example, we have choose one XYZ tool. Okay, so in this tool, what I will do is whatever the test cases we have, right, for old features and for retesting, whatever the features we have, right, for those we have manual test cases, right? So here we have written manual test cases. So test case is nothing but each and step by step procedure to verifying the feature functionality. So in the inside the test case, what it will be there, description will be there, and what is the expected result and what is the actual result and all will be there, right? So let us assume this is the test case file. So this is the test case file for the regression testing suite. Okay. So for all these features, regression testing test cases have been written over here. Okay. So all these three features test cases is written over here. So what I'll do is inside this automation tool, I'll automate these test cases in the whatever the language tool can understand. So basically, automation tool will be built by some kind of a language. So Java, many JavaScript, like that languages are there. like these tools can understand those languages. So we are going to write these manual test cases into an automated test case in the uh, tool understandable language, the whichever the language this tool can understand, right? So in that language we will try to automate all these test cases in that particular tool. Okay, so we will write all these test cases. We will define, we will write a code which is the tool understandable format. We will provide some instructions over here, and we will write it and we will save it. So whenever we want to execute, so we no need to manually execute these test cases. We no need to execute these test cases. Okay, so we just have to execute this automated script, whatever we have written, right? So we have to just have to execute this script. So this script will automatically take care of the execution of all these things, and it will produce the test results as well. So only the thing what we have to do is, like in this case, whenever we add new feature, so we just have to write the test cases for the new feature. Okay, so we have to verify the new feature manually. Okay, so here we have to verify the new feature manually. This is the next. Let us assume. Let us assume this is the new feature. So for this new feature, we have to write the manual test cases, and we have to execute all our test cases for this particular feature. For whatever the old features are available, right? So we have converted all those manual test cases to automated test cases. We will run this suite, so it will execute over all these pieces and it will get the results. So here we will be executing the manual test cases. Say for example, this is also done. So all these test cases are passed. So we will add this. Again, we will automate all these passed test cases again in this particular automated tool. We will again automate all these test cases to in the automated tool. Okay. So tomorrow what happens is, like, we will add one more feature to the system. Okay. So for this tool, we will add one more feature to this particular tool. I mean, we will add one more feature to for this application. So then what we have to do, we just have to write one manual test cases to only the new feature. Then we have to execute those for this particular feature. All these feature test case execution will be taken care by this particular code. Only we have to do again. If it is also passed, we have to again we should add it into this automated test script. So then it will take care of everything. So whenever we want to test our application, we just have to run this program, get the results, and submit the result to the stakeholder. Okay, so this is how automated tool works basically. So here, this is how the automation testing works. We are providing instruction to the automation tool how it has to perform, how it has to work. Okay. So here in the market we have so many tools available in the market. Uh, Say for example, if I can give you some of the examples. So one is Selenium is available. Nowadays many tools are available like Selenium, Cypress is there. So then comes WebDriver, IO is there, WebDriver, IO is there. So like that, so many tools are available in the market. So basically, we are going with Selenium. Why Selenium and all we will discuss now. So we are going to learn the automation testing using Selenium for functional testing, that too for retesting and regression testing test cases. So okay. So one more time, once again, I think something I missed. In the regression testing, we have one more scenario. Okay. Uh, Say for example, we have one executing the same test cases again and again, right? That is the thing. So I missed one point here. Here, for example, we need, sometimes what we have to do is, like, we have to execute the same test cases again and again with a different kind of data set. Okay, so that is what we call it as data driven testing also in terms of Selenium also. So I'll try to explain that with very simple scenario. So in Selenium, we will see some kind of complicated scenarios are there. Okay. So let us assume one what is there? One login page is there. For this login page, we have one username and password field. So then we have like one button called a login button. Let us assume this is the login button. Okay. Login button. This is the login button. So this is the one field. It is an username field. Okay. So let us assume username. Okay. So that's it. This is the username field. Okay. So this is the username field, and we have one more field, something called password. Okay. So let us assume this is the password. So this is the password field. So here what we have to do is like, so we have to enter username and password and click on login. So that is fine. That is one thing. We like the moment when you click on this login page, it will take us to the home page. Correct. So it is not like only user will try with valid username and password, right? So user may try with invalid also, right? So as part of our test cases, we will write the test cases like multiple test cases, right? So basically, we will write with one valid username and valid password. Correct. So then we will check with invalid username and valid password. Then we will check with valid username and invalid password. Then we will check like both are invalid. So then we will check like both are blank. Correct. So like this, we will write multiple test cases to test this use login page, right? So in that case, this is same test case with different set of data. Correct. So different set of username and password, different set of username and password, different set of username and password. So we are checking the expected result and actual result, but the test case remains the same, right? Like enter the username, password, and login. Enter the username and password, login. So we are trying with the same test case with multiple set of data. So this is also kind of a retesting. Okay. So this is also one thing. So I forgot to explain this one. Okay. So this is one thing. Okay. So now we will compare to the Selenium. Okay. So basically, why we are choosing the Selenium as a tool is like, actually Selenium is started in 2004. Okay. So it is almost 2 decades for the next year. So it will be 20 years for Selenium in the market. So Selenium is a very what we call, it's a very strong tool, which is like 80% of the organizations in the market are using this tool. Okay. 80% of the companies are using this tool for automation testing. Okay. So that is one thing. The large community is using this tool. So that is the reason we are trying with Selenium, and we are using the Selenium. Okay. So when you look at the job opportunities also, nowadays it is same, but most of the times, like 60 to 70% will be on Selenium. Remaining things will be on remaining tools. Okay. So along with Selenium, we will be choosing Java as a language. Okay. So Selenium can understand multiple language: Java, JavaScript, Python, C Sharp. Many languages it supports. But the community in the market, 80% of the companies are using the Selenium and Java. Okay. So that is the reason we are going with um, this combination, Selenium and Java. So right now we will discuss what exactly Selenium will do. Okay. So now we will uh, try to understand what is Selenium. Okay. So I'll open this official website of Selenium. Okay. So actually, what is the definition they have given? We'll just try to understand. Selenium automates the browser. That's it. What you do with that power is entirely up to you. Okay. You understand this sentence, right? So Selenium automates the browser. Okay. By making use of this Selenium, whatever we want to perform, that is up to us. How you are going to use the tool, That is up to your thinking and creativity how you are making use of this tool for your testing. Okay, so the
Okay.
very first thing is Selenium automates the browser means end-to-end browser. It only the thing is inside the browser it will take care of everything. Okay, so it basically automates the browser. Say for example, if I want to open the browser, see, this is the browser. Okay, so this is one browser. I'm opening this browser. Selenium automates this browser. Okay, Selenium automates this browser. So by making use of that Selenium, whether you want to open any website and inside the website if you want to verify anything, so that is up to you. Okay. So that is up to the QA who is going to test the feature. That is up to them how they are going to use that Selenium. Okay. This is what the official definition which is given by Selenium. Okay. So Selenium automates the browser. That's it. What you do with that power is entirely up to you. Okay. So why we have to Selenium and what are the advantages and disadvantages of Selenium? So we will try to see those things. So here I have somewhere I have written those advantages and disadvantages. So here there are some advantages and disadvantages. This is the advantages and disadvantages. So first we will see the advantages of Selenium. Okay. So basically the Selenium, the very first advantage is it is open source. Open source means it is free. So we no need to pay anything for this tool, for using this tool. It is completely free. Okay. So we no need to pay even a single rupee to buy the license of the Selenium. So that is the one first benefit or advantage why most of the peoples are using Selenium. Okay, so then comes Selenium supports multiple languages. In order to automate the web applications, so Selenium understands multiple languages. Any language we wanted to automate, we can automate the browser. So Selenium supports Java, Python and JavaScript like that. It supports multiple languages. Okay, so that is one of the advantage. And Selenium supports multiple operating system. Okay, so Selenium, if we have written the automated test cases in Selenium, this can be executed in multiple platforms like Windows, Mac, Linux, etc. So we have multiple platforms, right? So it supports multiple operating systems as well. Okay, so then comes it like it supports multiple browsers. So for example, uh, the testing can be performed in multiple browsers, right? Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Opera, and Safari. In multiple browsers we will be testing, right? So Selenium supports multiple browsers as well. In whichever the browser we want to test, it will allow to test. Okay, so that is one more benefit. And one more advantage of Selenium is it supports parallel testing. Okay, so this parallel testing you need to understand. Say for example, if I want to execute my test cases in multiple browsers at a time. Okay, so the parallel testing means I will explain you. Say for example, I have written. Say for example, this is my Selenium code. Okay, so I want to execute this Selenium code in multiple browsers. This is Chrome browsers, this is Firefox browser, this is Internet Explorer, this is Microsoft Edge. Like that, multiple browsers are there, right? Okay. So what is parallel testing means the moment I have written the code in such a way that it has to execute in all the browsers, it will execute all the test cases at the same time in all the browsers we have specified in our code. Okay, same time it will start. Okay, so it is based on the loading time and the loading pages, loading time of the pages, and all, the ending time may differ. Okay, but all the testing in all different browsers, it will parallelly it will happen. Okay, it will not first it will execute in Chrome. Once after done, it will execute for Firefox. Once after done, it will execute for Microsoft. It is not like that. It will initiate the testing in all the browsers at a time. Okay, So that is what the parallel testing is. If I want to execute my test cases in all different browsers, we can do that. That is also possible. So then one more advantage is like, and the last advantage is like, it supports to integrate the other third-party tools like TestNG, Giant, Live reports, etc. Okay, Selenium itself we cannot do complete kind of a testing. Okay, so Selenium supports like few things, and Selenium it cannot support few things. So Selenium, where and all Selenium cannot do the things, there and all like we have an alternative solution to integrate with other tools, and we can done with all those things. Okay, in future like you will get to know how to integrate the third party tools into the Selenium. Basically the thing is it allows to integrate with third party tool. So the advantages is like it is open source, it supports multiple languages, it supports multiple operating systems, it supports multiple browsers, it supports parallel testing, it supports to integrate with third party applications. Okay, so these are the benefits or advantages of Selenium. So when we have a technology in the market, so if it is having advantages, definitely it will be having some disadvantages also, right? So it will be having some limitations also. For any tools in the market, it will be having both advantages and disadvantages. Okay. So we will discuss some of the disadvantages of Selenium. So the first disadvantage is like it supports only web-based application. So why it is written is like, so as we have seen this definition, it automates the browser. Inside the browser, whatever we can do, that only we can verify. So that is why it is mentioned as it supports only web applications. Say for example, my application is installed in my desktop, it will not automate that application. Okay. So whatever we can able to open in the browser, so only that applications it can automate. So that is the reason it is only for web-based applications. It will not like supports. Say for example, I have installed Postman over here. If I want to automate Postman from Selenium, which is installed in this desktop, that is not possible. Okay, so that is one thing. Say for example, if I can open Postman in web browser, I can do that automation. Okay, so that is what the difference is. Uh, it supports like only for web-based application, which can be like supports in the browsers. So it is not like supports for window-based applications. So then comes the second disadvantage is like, as it is open source, there is no dedicated support. If you like getting stuck in somewhere for Selenium, so if you are facing some issue in Selenium, so there is no dedicated support from Selenium tool to assist us. Okay, but we don't need to worry about it because the 80% of community is using it. So if we just like whatever the issue we are facing, if we just like simply copy paste it in Google, so we will get all possible solutions. Okay, so we no need to worry that there are no dedicated support to this Selenium, like that we no need to worry. So because large community is using it, if we just simply copy paste your error itself, you will get so many solutions. Definitely it will work because I also learned the Selenium without any like trainers. So I learned in Google and YouTube and all. So whenever I face some issues, I just like simply copy pasted in Google. So I got all the like issues, whatever the fix I wanted for my issues. So I got all the fixes. Okay. So we no need to worry about it. So then comes Selenium by default. It will not produce any reports. Okay. So as a test engineer, as a testing process, reports are very important basically. So ultimately we have to submit our test reports, our test results, whatever we executed, how many test cases are passed and how many test cases are failed. So like that we have to finally we have to submit those test case results to the manager or stakeholders, whoever. But inside the Selenium, if we are doing the testing, Selenium by default it will not produce any reports. Okay, so but the reports is the very major thing in testing. But we no need to worry that it is not producing any reports like that. So by this advantage is there, right? It is, this can be integrated to other third party tools. Because of this advantage, this is not the disadvantage of Selenium. because we have so many third party tools available in the market. By integrating those third party tools into Selenium, we can produce the reports, test reports. Say for example, we have a leave reports, extend report, extend reports. So like that, we have so many reports. Third party reporting tools are available in the market. We can integrate with our Selenium so that we can produce the reports in Selenium. So that is one more disadvantage. And one more disadvantage is like, so image and all inside the browser also we cannot verify deeply. So and graph verification we cannot do with Selenium. Okay. So these are the definition of Selenium and advantages and disadvantages of Selenium. Okay. So you understood, right? Do you have any doubts?
Yeah.
So then,
I'm just writing all this one second.
yeah. Sorry.
I'm just taking notes of this one.
Yeah, yeah. If you want, I'll send it. Okay. So here I have one separate document. Whatever I did yesterday, right? I have added that also in this particular document. So I'll share this document with you. You no need to worry about it. Okay. So you can
Okay.
mm, that I will provide. Okay. So whatever I have written over here, right? So I'll copy paste everything into this particular drive. So then I'll provide this link to you. You can go with that, and also I'll provide this recording also. Whenever you get, you can go through these things. Okay.
Okay.
Then comes one more thing is like. I will try to understand a little bit the history of Selenium. Uh, okay. In 2004, actually, the Selenium is started. So the very first Selenium one was like now the Selenium latest version is I think 4.8 I think 4.8.3. Okay. So Selenium one, which was having so this we call it as Selenium components as well. Okay. Selenium components or Selenium suite. Okay. So Selenium actually technically it is not a tool. Actually it is a framework. Actually it is available in the form of jar files. Okay. So we no need to install this, and it is general application how we will be installing one tool. So we will download the tool and we will click on install. So then we will get one desktop application. So it is not like that actually. Technically, it is a kind of a framework which is available in jar files, which is having Selenium components. Okay. So Selenium one initially started with Selenium IDE. So then comes remote Selenium remote control, Selenium RC, and then comes Selenium grid. Selenium grid. Okay. So earlier in the Selenium one first release, so these three things were there. Okay. So Selenium is IDE in the sense integrated development environment, which is built for only for Firefox browser. Okay, which was not built for the other browsers. So in Selenium 4 these are not there. Okay, so I'll come back to these things. So then comes in Selenium 2. So Selenium IDE was there. So then Selenium RC was removed. Okay, so they introduced one more concept called Selenium WebDriver. Then Selenium Grid was there. Okay, in Selenium 3, this IDE also got removed. Only WebDriver, comma Selenium Grid. Okay, so only currently also these two things are available in the market. So this Selenium IDE and Selenium RC are deprecated from Selenium. Okay, so what is Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is Selenium integrated development environment. Integrated So which is developed for only Firefox browser. So which is developed for only Firefox browser. This was working only for Firefox browser. So for other browsers, we could we were unable to work with other browsers with Selenium ID. So then comes Selenium RC. So Selenium RC is like Selenium. Later Selenium RC was replaced with Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So we, as part of Selenium, we just have to understand because these things are already deprecated. Okay. So we don't need to worry about it. But for knowledge purpose, we should be knowing all this. So Selenium RC
Okay.
means it is a remote control. So earlier what was happening is like, say for example, Selenium core, say for example, uh, let us say this is the code we have, automated code we have written over here. Okay. So this is our automation script. Okay. So, so this is our browser. This is the script and this is the browser. So our Selenium test cases should execute on the browser, right? So whatever the test script we have written, so it should execute on the browser. So in order to execute that, we had one more thing called Selenium remote control. This is called Selenium RC. First, our test cases was reaching to the Selenium RC. It is a kind of server. So then it was executing it on the browser. So this was happening earlier. So say for example, if RC server was down, so even if we execute our test cases, it will not execute on the browser, right? Because this mediating thing itself is not working. Then how my Selenium script will work against the browser? So because of this disadvantage, later they removed the Selenium RC from the Selenium components. Selenium but Selenium suite it got removed because of there was a disadvantage if server was down or some issue happens in the RC, our script was not executing on the browser. Okay, so there were some other disadvantages also. Uh, because of that, it got deprecated from Selenium. Okay, so then comes WebDriver. So WebDriver is actually now we are using Selenium WebDriver only. So it is a kind of an API which will be executing our Selenium script over the every browsers will be having the respective browser drivers. By making use of those, it will execute our test cases on the browser. So this is a kind of API, WebDriver API, which will execute all our test cases on the browser. So Selenium Grid is like, say for example, if I want to execute my test cases remotely. So then we will be using this Selenium grid. Okay. So these are the things, but these two things are not available as of now, and these are deprecated. Nobody is using these two Selenium ID and RC. So our concentration is only on WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium grid. Okay. Most of the time we will be Selenium WebDriver only. This also for now we don't need to worry about it. So first we will learn Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So this is the thing we wanted to. We are focusing to learn for functional testing. So we are using Selenium to do the functional testing. We are using an automated tool for a functional testing where it is consuming the time, okay, retesting and regression testing in order to avoid the time consumption and efforts and all. We are using one tool, Selenium and Java combination. So in that Selenium components, we are using Selenium WebDriver to automate the browser. Okay. So first, one more thing we will discuss is so in order to work with Selenium, we need Java should be installed in our application, I mean in our system, then Eclipse, then Selenium. Selenium jar file should be available in our system. If we have these three things, so then we can easily work with Selenium. Okay. Java is required. Eclipse is an editor. Java is a language. Eclipse is an editor. Selenium jar file should be required in order to work with Selenium. These are the prerequisites which are required in order to work with Selenium. Okay. So this installation, we can see that before that, I'll tell you how to install these things. In my system, it is already everything is installed. What I'll do, I'll just quickly I'll run one program. Okay. So I'll open my Eclipse over here. So Java can be installed, we can download the Java and we can install it. Eclipse also we can go to the official website and we can download and install. So Selenium also we can download the jar files, or we can just go to the Maven repository and we can add those dependencies and then we can work with that. Okay. So it is not an issue. But for today we will quickly run one this automated test code for quick understand purpose how it works. So it is loading. So in this document, I have already mentioned how to install Java. Is we have to download JDK from Oracle Java, and just we have to double click on the bin and install. Then we have to pass the path variable in the environment variables in the bin folder. Okay. So then it is we just have to type an command line that Java hyphen version API it is. So I will just quickly go to command line. We will get Java, which version of Java is installed in our system. Okay. So we have to go to this official website and we have to download and we have to install it. So then comes Eclipse installation is very easy, that we just have to download this Eclipse from official website. If you just type Eclipse download, then we'll get to know. So then you just have to double click on this particular uh, whatever we downloaded the file, right? We just have to double click on this, then it will launch the Eclipse editor pad. Okay. So here this is not loaded or what. It is taking some time to load, as I have already projects available in the system. So let it load for some time. So then if you have any doubts you can ask me. Okay.
Okay.
If you go to this the Selenium documentation tab, So here we can go through this documentation also in order to understand the selenium and overview of this ID and grid and etc. Many things are there. So here if we go to overview, so Selenium, this Selenium 5 is really an overview of the different project companies. WebDriver. If you are a beginning with desktop website or mobile website test automation, then you are going to be using WebDriver APIs. Uses browser automation APIs provided by browser vendors to control the browsers and run the tests, etc. We can go through these things. Here we have components and details, everything. So the Selenium website is there. You can go through these websites and here we have this documentation thing and all. So here also Selenium components, terminology, this parts, and this is okay. It is loaded. Okay. So for today, you no need to worry about this creating the project and all. I'll tell you. Just for today, I just try to write one code in order to understand how Selenium starts. Okay. So I'll explain you this how to create project and how to install this Java and Eclipse and all.
Okay.
So it is loading. Wait for some time. Everything Selenium. So see, here we have write your first Selenium script. Okay. So here they have specified like 8 basic components. Everything Selenium does is send the browser commands to do something or sends a request for information. Most of what we will do with Selenium is combination of these basic commands. Start the session for more details on the starting. So we have to create an object reference for this particular clone driver class. So by making use of that object reference, we have to launch the browser. Okay. So after that, getting the title and the other stuffs. Okay. So if you want to do some kind of a timeouts and if you want to find the elements, so you can go through this. Putting everything together. This is in testing zip. Written test runner. Next step. Then it will get to Selenium 4. Are you still using Selenium 3? This guide will help you to upgrade to the latest release. Upgrading the Selenium 4 should be painless process if you are using one of the officially supported languages using JavaScript, C Sharp, Python and Java. There might be some cases where a few issues can happen and this guide will help you to solve them out. We will go through the steps to upgrade your project dependencies and understand the major deprecations and changes the version upgrade things. So we have so many versions of Selenium, right? Selenium 1, 2, 3, 4. The currently the Selenium latest version is 4.8.4. I mean 3. So most of the people are using Selenium 4. So we are using the latest version, Selenium 4.8.3, I guess. why it is not opening? Okay. So it is open for today. I'll just write one simple program. So I'll go to this. This. So see, in Eclipse, you're very new to Eclipse, right? So what we have to do is we have to go to this file and we have to click on new, and then we have to go for Java project or other projects also we can create. Okay. So for now, we will go for Java project only. So I'll create one Java project. So here I'll give the name as first test. Okay. So it is telling the name of the new project must be first. The name of the new project must be first test. Okay. So it is telling only first uh, letter should be capital. Then after typing it, it is already this with this name already one file is available. Here if you see first test is available. So what I'll give one. So then it is showing that no errors. Then click on finish. So here if you see here first test 123 Java project is created. Okay. So actually, if you want to create Java project and if you want to work with Selenium, we have to download the jar files. Then we have to add it. So in order to avoid that adding the jar files and all, we will be going with Maven project. Okay. So what we have to do, you go to new, go to project. Here you Maven is available by default in Eclipse. It will be available. Select this Maven project and select this. Click on next. So then it will go to this particular page. Then click on next. Then click on next. So here we have to provide some project name and all. So it is asking to group ID first test Selenium. You will write it. Then we will write again same thing. Enter an article ID. So write this and click on finish. So this is first test Selenium. This is the project it is created. As soon as we create the project, a Maven project, so one pom.xml file will be there. So this is where exactly we are going to add the Selenium dependencies to our project. So if you see this particular project, it is loading actually. So inside this package, what I'll do, I'll create one class. Okay, new class I create first test. So I need my method. I'll select my method. It is creating the class called first test. So it is created on class. Okay. So here if you see here inside this package, this is the Selenium batch 2 is a project. Inside this project I have one package called Selenium practice. Inside this package I have created a class. class called first test. So here we have the same pom.xml file. I'll open this pom.xml file. Here we go to this last section. So this is a kind of XML file. You as you are seeing these are new things for you. So you no need to worry about it. Okay, going forward, you will be used to it. So this is the dependency which we have to add it for Selenium. So that I'll tell you how to add it and all. So for today, we'll just we'll try to write one Selenium program. So that is what I just wanted to inform. So before writing the Selenium code, so how exactly my Selenium is going to communicate to the browser. So that is what I wanted to understand now is like, so whatever the code we will write in the Selenium or Eclipse, right? So first it will, this is the Selenium code, okay? So first it will, every browser will be having the browser drivers. Say for example, if it is a Chrome driver, so for Chrome driver, one browser driver will be there. For Firefox browser also one Firefox I mean browser drivers will be there. So first it will this Selenium script will communicate to this browser drivers. Then it will execute our test cases on the browser. Okay. So that is the thing which happens inside the Selenium. So in order to tell that my Selenium code where exactly my browser drivers are available. So actually we have to download the browser drivers from the Selenium official website. Inside this if you go to this place. So here if you go to this last section, here we have browsers, right? You just click on these browsers. So for whichever the browser you want, you go to this documentation. So here you go to downloads. So here one thing we have to understand is like what is the current Chrome driver we are using in our system. So for that version of Chrome driver, we have to download from Selenium website. Okay. So if we are using 111 in our system, if we are downloading the Chrome driver 113, then it is not going to work. Okay. So we have to download 111 only. So for that we have to go to our Chrome. Then we have to go to this help and about. Then we will get to know the later what is the version of my Chrome, right? So that we have to do first. So then first we have to get to know what is my current Chrome browser version. So then we have to download that version from this particular site. So here for multiple operating system it is available Linux, Mac. So last one is Windows. Click on this, it will download. As I have already available, it is already available in my system. So you just have to click on this and extract this zip. Okay. So once it is downloaded, I have already downloaded this file. I pause this. So once after downloading, you have to go to this particular. It will be available in downloads. So once after going to downloads, so select that file and right click on it and just extract it. Okay. So if you want to see how to extract, so this is the file. Say for example, this is how it looks like. Okay. So you have to do right click and you have to do this extract all. So then it will be extracted. Okay. So after that you will get a file like this. So I have already extracted. Once after do right click on this and extract. So then it will generate one file like this. If you click on this, here you are able to see Chrome drive, right? So this is what exactly the driver for that particular Chrome. Okay. So then, so how to see my current browser version is go to help and about Chrome. Here you have to go and see what is the latest version of Chrome. So my latest version of Chrome is 111. So here from here also I have to download the 111 version of Chrome driver. Okay. Once after downloading you have to extract it. Once after extracting you will get one file like this. So this is where my Chrome driver is available in my system. So inside my system, inside my program, I should tell to my Selenium code that here is my Chrome driver. You have to go to this place. From here it will communicate to the browsers. Correct. My local browser will be there in my system, right? So this Chrome driver will go and communicate with that browser. It is like that. So for that we have one code like system dot set property. So once again it is taking time to load. System dot set system dot set properties. Here I have to tell where exactly my what it has to do. Web driver dot chrome dot driver. If I'm not wrong, I will cross check this once again. Yeah, exactly. Web driver dot chrome dot driver we have to specify, and we have to choose the location of this file. So how we have to choose the location of this file is like you have to copy this path where exactly our Chrome driver is available. So once after copying from this place, so this is what we have to download. So from this file till here you will get, okay, till here you will get. So then you have
Okay.
to add chrome driver.exe. So that is what I have added. So till here you can copy from this particular path. So this chrome driver.exe you have to add it from here. So this file name is there, right? So till here I can get the path from here. After that you have to put double slash, then you have to write chrome driver.exe. Okay, so that is what I have written over here. So I'll put this inside this my first step Java. So here it is, as I have copy pasted, it is showing 4 slashes. Only Eclipse will understand only 2 slashes. So we have to remove the extra 2 slashes. So actually first time if you copy from that particular place, see I'll do copy from here, okay. If I copy from here, it will not show 4 slashes, okay. It will show only 2 slashes. So no need to get confused. See,
Okay.
it is showing only 2 slashes. We put some 2 slash extra and copy this name chrome driver.exe. So what will be name and copy this. So this is chrome driver. The extension of the file is exe. Exe.
Mm.
Yes. So we'll cross confirm. Yeah, exactly. It is exe. Okay. So then what I'll do, I'll create an object reference for this web driver equal to new driver. So don't worry about this. I'll explain in the coming classes. So why we have to create an object reference and all. So now we have to open the browser, right? Driver. So this itself it will open the browser. I have to open some URL, right? Driver.get. This is the command to open the URL. Okay. So for I am using Selenium. So first we will launch the browser. We will see which application we want to open. Say for example some Amazon.in or some we will open this Selenium official website only. So what I will do, I will just copy this URL, paste it in this section where exactly it is expected in the browser. Save this file, then click on right click on this class, then click on run as Java application and run. So this code will open the browser and it has to open the URL. Okay. So it is launching the browser. I'm not opening any browser. So it is not able to open the URL because there is some issue here. So that is already fixed in where. One second. So it is already fixed in 4.8.3. So what we have to do is just have to add these two lines of code. Okay. So don't worry about this code. Actually, it is already fixed. For now, I'll,
Okay.
as part of first test execution, I'm showing. So don't worry about this. I'll explain all these things. Okay. So once again, this I'm going to now it will open the browser. I mean URL. Right click on this and click on Java application. So in the console, we are able to see what is happening. It is started the Chrome driver, means it is launching the Chrome browser, and inside this, it is going to open the URL. See, it is opening the selenium.dev in this particular page. So I am not opening it manually. I am opening it from Selenium. So like this, whatever the actions, whatever the test cases we have written, right? So that and all, we have to add it in the Selenium script and we have to do all the steps. Okay. So in the coming classes we will learn one by one. So as part of first test, we executed. You don't have to worry about this. I'll in the coming classes I'll explain everything. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's all for today. In the next class we will see other things. Okay.